President Asma, great to have you in Sri Lanka, and a very warm welcome to our country. Thank you for being with us. It's an honor for Sri Lanka and our members to have the IFAC President visit us and participate in our national conference, which is happening this evening, and also the related events that's taking place around the national conference, and also your visit to Sri Lanka. Congratulations on your appointment as the IFAC President. For us in Sri Lanka, you coming from a developing nation, it gives us strength as well. Congratulations on sort of success you've had so far, and we wish you all the very best as you prolong the rest of your tenure as the President of IFAC. I know this is your first visit to Sri Lanka, and you came only last morning, and just want to get whether you have any initial impressions of Sri Lanka and the accounting profession in Sri Lanka. You know, you have associated with us for some time as a council member of IFAC, and you know the profession a little bit in Sri Lanka. Just want to get a feel for whether you have initial impressions on the country and also about our profession, if you do have, as an initial question to you.
Well, thank you, Arjuna, and I'm really happy to be here in Sri Lanka. I'm very humbled by the welcome that I have received and the hospitality. It is just amazing. And as you said, this is my first year as president, and I'm about to close the first year. It has been a long year with a lot of travels, a lot of visits to different countries. And I can tell you that even though I don't get to do a lot of tourism or sightseeing in countries I visit, because it's most of the time it's very busy agendas with busy schedules and meetings, usually as soon as I step out of the plane, I get the feel of the country and the culture. So how about Sri Lanka? So as you said, I just arrived yesterday morning. I'm still half jet lagged, but I'm recovering fine. For me, your hospitality is amazing, and the warmth that I feel from people is also amazing. And it's really humbling to see that all the efforts and all the warm spirit that you put in preparing for my visit. For me, I'm always so humbled by this that it gives me nice emotions about the country. And so I'm definitely coming back as a tourist when I'm done with my presidency to discover more, because what I've seen, I really like it. So thank you to the Institute, to the leadership, to the people I've met for this great welcome, and which for me shows the admiration and the respect that you have for IFAC. So I feel even more responsible when I get that kind of welcome and hospitality, that how IFAC is perceived and how the relationship between IFAC and Sri Lanka Institute and institutes, because I'm meeting the other institutes as well, is how strong it is. So it is very, very pleasing for me to feel that and to live that. And regarding the profession, I obviously before coming, I do my homework. I have to understand where I'm going, a little bit about the institute. And I was also pleased to have this meeting this morning with the council members, where they presented to me your institute, what's happening, etc. And I'm really impressed by the work that you're doing, the number of members that is picking up, the number of students. We also had a great interactive panel session with students from the 3 institutes, which was really inspiring and very insightful. So all the best. I think you carry the profession very well, and I wish you to continue in this direction.
Thank you, President Asma. And I must tell you that under your leadership, you have continued to strengthen respect and admiration of IFAC. We closely bond with IFAC, we interact closely, and we have got tremendous support from IFAC. And today, the Institute, Sri Lanka, is at this level, is because of some of the support that has come from IFAC, and it's continuing to build and strengthen. And we are very pleased to have you support us as well as the President of IFAC, President Asma. So just sort of as continuing our discussion, just to sort of, whole world has come out of COVID-19, and you have taken over the presidency immediately after that, and we're impressed with the sort of progressive nature of things that are happening at IFAC, and which is also strengthening the profession here. And we are leveraging on some of those initiatives and actions of IFAC to strengthen the profession in Sri Lanka. Our membership, and we would like to hear from you what some of the significant initiatives and the recent developments and trends that are happening across the globe, which will sort of allow our members to come to abreast of understanding what's happening around the globe. So if you don't mind, President Asma, if you can share some of the initiatives, trends that are happening across the world and within IFAC as well.
If I had to think about the main 2 or 3 topics that we have been working on a lot lately in IFAC, I would say the first one that comes top of mind is, surprise, surprise, sustainability. The second one is the attractiveness of the profession, because it's a topic where we hear a lot of challenges from different jurisdictions and different challenges. So it's also a topic that we are working on a lot. And I would also add another topic that has taken a lot of our energy as well lately in IFAC, which is anti-corruption. Mm-hmm. And so I'll start with this one by saying that IFAC has been very proactive on this and I would say not proactive, but leading on this topic by coming up with like an action plan and some thought leadership documents to assist PAOs, professional accounting organizations like yours, to start leading and working on the topic in their own countries. Because we know that this is a global issue that all countries, all levels of development are dealing with different, in different aspects. So our action plan does not mean that we are the only ones who have a role to play in this. We're not the only ones. It's like other topics, it's an ecosystem topic where we need to work together in partnership, in collaboration with other stakeholders, which are policymakers, governments, civil society, communities, companies, management, those charged with governance, etc., to build and to to fight the damages that are caused by this problem. And so our action plan is very wide, and it covers a few topics, including, for example, supporting international standards, which is one of our strategic objectives, because by doing that, indirectly, we participate in anti-corruption activities by producing thought leadership articles and pieces of information to help professional accounting organizations tackle this topic, by collaborating with other stakeholders, other professions, other regulated professions or non-regulated professions, like the profession of lawyers internationally, by advocating whenever we can in conferences, in meetings, in webinars about the topic, and also by educating, because as a profession and as IFAC, we have a big role to play in education, and that is also one way for us on working on this topic.
Great, thank you very much. So this sort of gives us a good feel for the contribution that the profession can make in tackling anti-corruption, so that's great. On sustainability and the attractiveness of the profession, we'll come back with subsequently discussing a little bit more in detail these two subjects. But before, I want to get a feel for how has COVID-19 impacted the profession. As we know, the businesses and the economies got seriously impacted. Sri Lanka went into economic crisis as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. It might be good to get a feel from you as to globally, when you look at, from a global scenario, has the profession got impacted? To what extent has it got impacted? And do we have sort of, are we now better prepared in terms of being resilient in crises of this nature in the future?
Thank you for that question, Arjuna. Yeah, definitely COVID is something that I think nobody has imagined would happen, and the way we went through it, the way our governments dealt with it was also something that we were going through for the first time. And definitely it has impacted everybody, including the profession. But forget the bad impacts, the bad sides of how COVID has impacted each one of us in our societies and economies. COVID also taught us one thing, is how to, and you use the word resilience, how to face uncertainties, how to deal with uncertainties. And because uncertainties are part of life, and we wake up every morning, we don't know what's going to happen, where the world is going to shift, where our societies, our governments, our countries are going. So that was a main lesson for all of us, that we need to understand and embrace the fact that uncertainty is part of our life, and change is part of our life, and hence resilience. And I think we have proven as a profession that we can be resilient. And we have, like other organizations, we have managed to shift in a very rapid way to working digitally, to digitalization. So this was something that nobody would have imagined before, that we would start working using digital tools in remote environments, and be as efficient, and sometimes even more, than before. So it opened our eyes to new ways of working, to working differently. And that leads me to what we advocate for in IFAC, that with regards to preparing our profession for the future, we need to do different things. So if we have managed through COVID to do the same things differently, then the next step that we are in already is to really start doing different things, like embracing more the technological changes, getting more involved in sustainability, being more creative in our ways of working for and with sustainability, etc.
Great. No, I totally agree with you. And it shows also that if you decide to embrace change, that you could travel that journey, which we saw in COVID. And a lot of the time we resist change. So, clearly it gives us courage to say that, we can embrace change and we must go forward.
And we can do it.
Exactly. Thank you, President Asma. Just coming back to your earlier two other topics that you said was sort of globally focused on from the profession's point of view, as well as it's impacting the profession as well as how corporates operate. One is on sustainability. Clearly, sustainability and sustainability reporting and the environmental, social, and economic governance is focused from a public sector as well as from a private sector perspective, and it's been taken seriously across the world, and it's not different in Sri Lanka. As a result of this, there are various professions and parties involved in promoting and advocating on ESG and ESG concepts. What I would like to hear from you is what's the contribution and the role that the accounting profession can sort of do in this regard, and how do you see the future unfolding for corporates around the world and the accounting profession in relation to this area and subject of ESG and sustainability reporting?
Well, let me first of all start by saying that IFAC has played a very big role since a few years ago in advocating for sustainability work and for more specifically sustainability standards. And we were happy to see that ISSB, who we have been supporting from the word go, has finally issued the first two global standards, S1 and S2, which will make the sustainability reporting easier and more consistent globally. At least that's what we are hoping. So now the work and the challenge for the accountancy profession in every jurisdiction is to make these global standards become local. So each country must now collaborate with their own local stakeholders, whatever authorities or stakeholders concerned, to start figuring out how to start implementing, adopting, etc. And we will have different paths in each country, and hopefully that will lead to encouraging the non-financial reporting regarding sustainability. The other things that will be expected from the accountancy profession is on the area of trust, because it's one thing to produce reporting, to produce disclosures in the form of KPIs or whatever it is. But the next step will be to make sure that those reportings are reliable and reflect reality, and hence assurance work that will be important, and the ethics that will go with this assurance work and the reporting work. So that's where the accountancy profession is expected. So this is the way we see it in IFAC. Is an opportunity for the accountancy profession, knowing that we will not be the only ones in this field. There are others who also are involved, and with opportunities come challenges. And one of the challenges will be to prepare ourselves, and capacity building will be to capacitate our professional accounting organizations and our professionals in terms of upskilling them, educating them, because yes, we have those evergreen skills regarding problem solving, regarding professional skepticism, regarding critical thinking, etc., which will become even more important with the sustainability, even more critical with sustainability reporting. But we need also that subject matter expertise to understand more deeply the topic and to be able to report on it and to give assurance on it. So that is our challenge. And as we know, everything moves quickly. Nobody would have expected the ISSB to come up this quickly with the standards, so they are there now. The other issue is that it's mainly voluntary reporting, except in some jurisdictions. So there is also work to do to make this, to transform it from voluntary to mandatory reporting as well as assurance, so that the topic picks up quicker, and obviously the accountancy profession will have a role to play in this in collaboration with other stakeholders.
Thank you. That's good perspective for the profession here as well to carry this through locally. President Desma, thank you for that. You also mentioned about the attractiveness of the profession. I think attracting talent to the profession is a challenge all over the world as I see it, and it's no different in Sri Lanka. Just want to get a feel for what may be happening around the world in terms of initiatives in trying to address this challenge will be very useful for us here in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Well, attractiveness and retention of talent is also the topic where we spend a lot of time in IFAC these days. And we started hearing a lot of noise from different countries that there is a problem of young people not wanting to join the profession like before, etc. And I think COVID has started this, maybe has triggered it more than before, but we have to prove that through studies, etc. And because of that, we could not give a blind eye to this topic in IFAC. Now, the issue with this topic is that as much as it's global, we hear it in almost every jurisdiction. The challenges are different from one country to another, from jurisdiction to another, and from a culture to another. So it's not a one-size-fits-all strategy that we're going to come up with. But what we are doing in IFAC is we are coming up with what we call a placemat. It's like a document that captures all the main thoughts and ideas, and I wouldn't say solutions, but paths to reflect on, that we would like to share with all our PAOs and give then PAOs the opportunity to adapt that to their context, because some will be valid, some will not be, some will be different. I was discussing with your colleagues here in Sri Lanka, and I understand you have a very specific issue, which I've seen in other countries, where young professionals are more tempted to go abroad, to continue their career abroad. So what would be the solutions to deploy in Sri Lanka to make sure that they stay, or at least if they go, they come back?
Sure.
So it's not the same maybe as how the problem presents itself in other developed nations, where it's different. People are just avoiding the profession, sometimes for different reasons. Could be the branding, the fact that the word accountant is not as appealing to them as I don't know, consultant or banker or whatever. It could be the work-life balance that they don't, that does not fit in with their aspirations, and that came in the discussion this morning with your young students. It could be the flexibility, the lack of flexibility. It could be the fears that come from too much and hard regulation that we need to also start talking about to see, okay, what is what we call in IFAC the smart regulation that will not get to the point where people start running away from the profession. So there are a lot of points that need to be covered, and that will vary from country to country. But what is important is that each country has that challenge, but different aspects that they need to look at and strategize on.
No, thank you. I think this is very helpful. The placemat and local jurisdictions might have to adapt to the peculiarities that the local jurisdiction also brings, and look at regulations. So thank you very much, and I'm sure the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and the other accounting bodies will I think, taking a serious look at this. Yeah. And the knowledge sharing will be of helpful, as you suggested that. IFAC will do that very soon, so that's great. I think the time is up for us, but just to conclude, whether there will be anything that we missed out that you think you should want to share with our members and the Institute. If you do have, maybe you can do that now, and then we can conclude our discussion.
Well, thank you. I think we've covered a lot of topics in this discussion. Again, thank you so much for your hospitality, for your warm welcome, and I look forward to more meetings and events that I'm here for.
Thank you very much, President Asma, for gracing us with your presence in Sri Lanka, as I suggested earlier, and thank you very much for the discussion we had now. And I take this opportunity on behalf of the profession in Sri Lanka to wish you all the very best in your rest of your tenure as a president of IFAC. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And a very warm welcome. Today we are privileged as we have an exceptional moment, as we have the distinct privilege of hosting Ms. Asma Rasmuki, the President of the International Federation of Accountants, for a thought-provoking discussion that promises to shed light on the global landscape of the accounting profession. And in a world where finance and accountability are paramount, IFAC stands as a beacon of excellence and a driving force behind the evolution of the accounting profession on a global scale. And today our conversation will delve into the heart of IFAC's mission in its dedication to support the accounting students as well as the young professionals worldwide. So without any further delay, once again, Ms. Rasmuki, it is a privilege to have you here, and we warmly welcome you for this discussion and to Sri Lanka as well. It is a true honor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, and it's an honor for me to be here.
The pleasure is all ours. Ms. Rasmuki, we've had a wonderful discussion in the morning, and just to speak a little bit about it and to touch up on some of the key highlights, because you mentioned that skills was a definite attribute. In today's rapidly changing business environment, what skills and attributes do you believe are the most valuable for aspiring accountants in today's day and time?
Thank you for that question. Obviously, in addition to the technical skills that we have to acquire as professional accountants, the future skills should be more focused on the soft skills and the strategic skills, because as you said it very eloquently, we live in a very changing world, and we are surrounded by uncertainties that come up every day and will continue coming up. So, and I think COVID was one of them, where we had to embrace the challenges and the opportunities as well that came with COVID, and the uncertainties that it constituted to our lives. And so that was maybe a learning lesson. Any uncertainty, any project, any new topic that comes our way, and some of those skills will need to be developed even further. We talked about problem-solving skills. We talk about skills like professional skepticism and other common skills where we need to become more adaptable, and very important, more willing to learn and to upskill ourselves. So that is in itself a skill that we need to acquire and work on.
Absolutely, and thank you for that very inspiring answer, because speaking about technical skills and learning new things, if we speak a little bit about the sustainability and environmental reporting, because what do you feel or what do you believe is IFAC's stance on sustainability and environmental reporting with the accounting profession when it's addressing the growing demand for ESG, because it's a rather trending topic? In your opinion, what do you believe is IFAC's stance on the growing demand for ESG reporting?
Well, IFAC has been advocating from the word go for sustainability reporting and for all the topics that come with it. And the first one was obviously sustainability standards. So IFAC has been very supportive and advocating for ISSB to issue the standards, and we're very pleased to see that ISSB has issued in a very short period of time those first two standards, S1 and S2. And now the challenge will be to make those global standards become local. And this is where IFAC will continue working and collaborating with local PAOs to support them and help them in this journey, in having the right discussions with the right stakeholders on how to make these standards local. Also, making them mandatory at some point of time. That is also going to be key to making sustainability reporting even more a reality, because right now it has been more a voluntary reporting. So as soon as it becomes mandatory, things will shift even faster and further. The other field that where IFAC is very supportive is making sure that we have global, high quality global standards in assurance and in ethics. So we would encourage also local PAOs to adopt and implement these standards as soon as they come out. And as some of you know, and we talked about it this morning, IAASB is working on this new standard called ISSA 5000 on the assurance of sustainability reporting. ISBA is also working on the ethics for sustainability assurance. So there are a lot of moving parts in the area of sustainability, and IFAC will always be there to support the professional accounting organizations and to advocate for a global baseline for high quality standards.
Well, that is so great, and we're definitely looking forward to it. And also, since you mentioned about our discussion in the morning, just a quick question about what the key takeaways that you would want our students that would be watching us to have after this interaction with you as the IFAC president.
Well, thank you for that opportunity to give key takeaways, and I really enjoyed our session this morning with which was very interactive with students, and they were very open to a lot of things, so that was really amazing. For me, the two takeaways, and one of them is linked to both of them are linked to what we just discussed. The first one is education, upskilling, initial professional development, continuous professional development. Things are moving quickly, topics are emerging, sustainability is an opportunity, but we need to be ready in terms of capacity building, in terms of educating ourselves so that we can add value in the field of sustainability, so that we can have impact on our societies, on our economies. So that is going to be key. And the other topic we should never forget, and this is specific characteristic to our profession, is our code of ethics and our ethics, the ethics that we are bound by, and that is going to become, is already key for financial reporting, and will be also key for non-financial reporting, for sustainability reporting, for all the work that we have to do. We have to keep that in mind, because ethics is about trust, and as we know, if we lose trust, it's difficult to go back, so we have to be very, very careful, and we have to stick to our code of ethics in everything we do.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Ms. Rasmuki, for providing us with such a privilege to listen to you and to get to know your insights about such factors that have been in a lot of our students' minds. Thank you so much once again for being here and for speaking to us. It's been a true pleasure. Thank you very much, and we would love to have you back in Sri Lanka.
Thank you, and the pleasure was mine as well. Thank you.